In 1924, a scientist in South Africa unwrapped a small fossilized skull. He declared it proof that our ancestors were natural-born killers. Blunt force wounds, cracked bone, signs, he said, of brutal hominin violence. The find made headlines around the world. He was wrong. It took 50 years and a very different kind of scientist to find out what actually happened. And the real answer didn't just correct one mistake, it rewrote our entire relationship with one of the deadliest predators that ever lived. So what actually killed that child, and what does it reveal about how we survived? Let's start with the skull that fooled science for half a century. In 1924, anatomist Raymond Dart received a small fossilized skull from a quarry in Taung, South Africa. It belonged to a child roughly 3 years old, an early human ancestor called Australopithecus africanus. Published in the journal Nature in 1925, Dart's paper stunned the scientific world. But Dart didn't just describe a new species. He noticed strange punctures through the skull's eye sockets, and he built an entire theory around them. Dart called it the killer ape hypothesis. Early humans, he argued, were violent by nature, bludgeoning prey and each other with bone weapons. He even proposed our ancestors had an entire toolkit built from bone, tooth, and horn. He called it the osteodontokeratic culture. The punctures in the child's skull, he claimed, were proof of that brutality. For decades, that theory shaped how the public imagined our ancestors. Aggressive, savage, born killers. But here's what's fascinating. Dart had the wounds right. He had the cause completely wrong. In the 1970s, paleontologist C.K. Brain returned to the exact same evidence. He measured the punctures in the Taung skull with careful precision. Then he compared them to the teeth of every likely predator from that era. Published in his book, The Hunters or the Hunted, the match was exact. 2 puncture holes, spaced precisely like the lower canine teeth of a leopard. Not a crude stone tool, not another hominin's weapon. A leopard's bite. Not everyone in the field accepted the new answer right away. But cave after cave, site after site, the same leopard-shaped pattern kept turning up. So early humans really were the ultimate killer ape? Not exactly. The evidence said something closer to the opposite. That child hadn't been killed by violence between hominins at all. It had been killed and eaten by a leopard. And here's the part that should really land. For decades, an entire origin story about human nature had been built on a predator's dinner. Brain didn't stop at one skull. He examined thousands of bones from caves across South Africa. Bones long assumed to be evidence of early hominin cannibalism and violence. But the pattern of breaks, punctures, and missing pieces told a different story. These weren't murder scenes. They were leftovers. Leopards, it turns out, have a very specific hunting habit. They kill alone, in near silence, usually at dusk or just after dark. Then they drag their kill straight up into a tree or deep into a cave. Why? To keep it away from lions and hyenas that would steal it outright. Those caves weren't crime scenes of ancient violence. They were leopard pantries, and our ancestors were frequently the groceries. A leopard can weigh half what a lion does and still take down prey twice its own size. It can haul that kill straight up a tree trunk using nothing but its neck and jaw. It doesn't chase, it waits, calculates, and strikes from almost total silence. No warning roar, no visible stalking through open grass. Just a shape in a tree and then nothing at all. Leopards adapted to nearly every terrain on Earth. Desert, rainforest, mountain, and farmland alike. Leopards never went extinct like the other predators our ancestors faced. They're the most widely distributed big cat on Earth, and the data on them today is unsettling. Wildlife biologist Vidya Athreya has spent years studying leopards in Maharashtra, India. She found leopards regularly living inside sugarcane fields at the edges of dense human towns. completely undetected for years without a single sighting. Camera traps caught leopards walking through village streets at night, repeatedly unnoticed. Some attacks on humans happened less than 100 meters from an occupied house. So is a spear the reason humans eventually survived this predator? Not entirely. A spear only helps once you already know something is there. And a leopard's entire strategy is making sure you never do. The real defense our ancestors built wasn't a weapon at all. It was fire. A campfire creates a rough 30-foot radius most predators won't cross, not because fire hurts them, because unpredictable light and smell mean unpredictable danger. And every predator hates unpredictable danger. The second defense was even less glamorous: never being alone. A solitary ambush predator needs a target with no one else watching its back. A group, even a small one, breaks that equation completely. More eyes scanning the tree line. More warning if something moves wrong. Sleeping in a loose circle with fire at the center wasn't tradition. It was engineering. And here's the strange part about how this story ends. Modern humans, most of us, have almost completely forgotten this fear ever existed. Somewhere on that ancient list, your brain still carries a leopard-shaped gap. It's just rarely triggered by anything in a city apartment. But in regions where leopards and people still share the same landscape, the numbers stay grim. Researchers documented dozens of fatal attacks in a single Indian district within just a few years. Almost always the same pattern: dusk, alone, no fire, no warning. The exact three conditions your ancestors spent 300,000 years building defenses against. Ancient humans didn't outrun the leopard. Nothing outruns a leopard. They didn't outfight it either. A leopard alone can kill an unarmed man in seconds. They simply removed the conditions a leopard needed to win: darkness, solitude, and silence. We call that camping. Our ancestors called it staying alive. That same small skull sits in a museum today, relabeled, not proof of violence, but proof of the food chain. Somewhere in a forest edge tonight, that exact same calculation is still being made, just usually not by us anymore.